guys, Marcus, Horror Junkies of Utah. I got Eddie, Craig, and Tracy here today, and we are here to talk about some very sad news. Wes Craven passing away from brain cancer. That really sucks, man. He was a horror icon, and he's gone. And he's gone, and he's not coming back, and it blows my mind that he's gone. I never even knew he was diagnosed with brain cancer, and he died, and I fucking hate cancer. And I'm just going to start out with these guys talking about some of their favorite films from Wes Craven. Let's just open it up. Hey, Eddie, what's yours?
Mine is Hills Have Eyes. It was filmed in 1977. It was more of his earlier films. I really enjoyed it. It had some great moments in that movie. The overall feel of that movie is just creepy, eerie, always having people watch you and everything. It brings back some childhood memories of going on driving trips with my grandparents and going through Nevada. I'm like, fuck, man, this is just like Hills Have Eyes. They better not fucking do this shit.
I totally agree with you because I did the same trips just a couple years later. And I feel you because we'd go to Elko, Nevada and all these small towns.
Yeah,
and
you're
I was
like,
always
what the fuck you get me
who
into?
is watching me and who's going to come get me?
Yeah. So, I mean, it just brings back some good memories. I love the movie. Overall, it's just a great movie.
What about you, Tracy?
So for Wes Craven, I would say my favorite character that he made was definitely Freddy Krueger. But my favorite, probably, film series was Scream. It was just like the teenage, scary kind of thing, you know, getting a phone call from some random killer that wants to murder you, and turns out it's somebody close to you. And I really liked just that whole franchise. I thought he did an amazing job on it.
Yeah, I really enjoy Scream. It's not my favorite, but I think it also played homage to our classic slasher films. He took it back and brought that back into the light because it was almost lost there for a while, and Scream came out in the 90s, whereas most of our slasher famous serial killers were 80s, and then we got an iconic one in the 90s, and that's Ghostface.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Awesome job on what he did there.
Yeah.
Craig, what do you think?
My personal favorite Wes Craven film is definitely People Under the Stairs. Not too well known, I think. It's a 90s movie, but it definitely feels like kind of a campy 80s horror kind of movie. I definitely like the whole feel of it. It's kind of a mystery kind of movie, and it's got some good horror elements to it. And I definitely just like the whole, you're going through the whole movie and you're not quite sure what exactly is going on. Who are these crazy people in the house? Who are these weird zombie dudes who live in the basement? It's just an all-around fun movie. Definitely my favorite.
Definitely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
I love the Roach character.
Yeah.
And I loved how the girl was like, yeah, we give him flashlights to play with. They seem to like it.
I liked how Roach was always going through the walls and stuff. And
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was going to say. But yeah, I mean, all these movies are really good, and most of them that we've talked about, he's not well known on. I mean, we got Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, they're iconic, and he did a really good job with these, but he's also known for other movies that aren't straight out there, ready and available. Like, you got to actually dig for these movies, but they're all great. He did a really good job. The other interesting thing, when I looked this up online after he passed, and I never knew this, but he was actually a professor or something?
Wow.
He was a humanities professor.
Yeah.
At Clarkson College. I'm not sure where that's located, but he was a humanities professor there before he became a director and all that fun stuff.
But that's cool because you actually see some of the knowledge he actually brings to the films.
Yeah.
You know, he brings stuff that you don't see in a lot of films, like social issues. I mean, let's talk about the people under the stairs. I mean, god damn it, let's see. It's the 1%ers versus the people that haven't nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he brings social issues into the limelight.
Yep.
With Nightmare on Elm Street, I think he brought the fact of mental health. I mean, just when I look at it, I'm like, hey man, people have nightmares. It affects them. And in his story about making the film, he was having nightmares about this.
Yeah.
Well, and where he actually got the idea was a group of guys, actually, they died in their sleep from having nightmares. And that was
Exactly.
where he got the whole Nightmare on Elm Street kind of thing.
He talks about one story in particular. This Asian person was talking about how he was having these terrible nightmares and stuff. And he actually had an extension cord to his closet with a coffee maker because he was so terrified of falling asleep. And he actually literally died in his sleep.
And that's crazy, and that's what's cool is not only does he make great horror movies, he makes great horror movies for the time and the period and everything that's being reflected in the media and in life at that time. And another thing I think we got to pay homage to is he didn't do all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, let's be honest. I mean, the first one,
Yeah.
the ones that followed were good
Hit
in their
and miss.
own right, but but the one that he put out that really brought it back was Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah.
I was just blown away by that film.
It's like the
and
only Nightmare
concepts.
on Elm Street that's scary,
I would argue the first one is pretty
yeah,
scary.
yeah, that's what I meant.
But that one, I'm like, holy
Definitely.
shit! He just
Terrifying.
brought Freddy Krueger to be the devil again.
Especially that hospital scene with the babysitter and
Yeah,
stuff.
And it's
Drag
like
up the wall.
and it's just like
Yeah.
the original scene, but.
Well, from what I can remember, that was the very first horror movie I ever watched in kindergarten. That was the very
That's
first
pretty cool.
scary horror movie I had ever watched was Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So
Yeah, and it wasn't one of my first horror movies, but it's in that little group because they were on TV a lot when we were growing up, obviously. And so it wasn't my first like Tracy, but it was probably my top 5 horror movies I ever seen, and it scared the shit out of me. Just like probably with her,
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, what's going on? This is Freddy Krueger. And then afterwards, because the original Nightmare was made in the 80s, and I didn't grow up in the 80s like Eddie did. He's
Yeah.
probably like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? But me, Tracy,
Yeah.
and Craig grew up in the 90s, so that was almost our first taste of it. And
It's also kind of
Terrifying.
why we relate to Scream so well. 'Cause
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
because whereas Eddie's like, well, I'm not going to speak for you, but what are your opinions on Scream real quick?
I personally liked some of the sequels to Scream. The first one was awesome. The college one was okay. The third one I really liked because it kind of has that mystery filmmaking idea to it. The fourth one, I liked a lot of the opening scenes in that movie. I like how they just
make fun of all the sequels
then
and
make
stuff.
fun
Yeah.
of all the sequels, and they just show this is what's fucking wrong with horror movies.
But what I feel out of it all is like, so I get that me, Craig, and Tracy are way more loyal to like Scream. We're like, fuck yeah, Scream. And Eddie's like, it's okay, but why? It's different generations.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
See, the generation I grew up in was with the Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Leather Faces. I mean, I grew up in more of the older school slasher films just because I'm 5 years older than you guys.
yeah, and we
so-
all love those as well, but we got especially with Wes Craven, we got the later stuff
Yeah.
Yeah,
on TV and
I saw
stuff,
Scream was probably like one of the first horror movies, or rather I should say first like rated R movies I saw. I would have been like 6 or 7. It scared
Yeah,
the
that's
crap out
same
of
with
me.
me.
Scared the
Scream
crap
was one of the
out
ones
me.
that I watched with my mother. She
My
rented
first
it from
ones.
Blockbuster when
Yep.
Blockbuster used to exist.
I
And
miss
that talks about generation. That shit's not even around
I
anymore.
miss-
I will
Blockbuster,
say
man.
one thing though about Scream 2. It did make me terrified because I saw it in the movie theaters in Century 16.
You don't want to go to the bathroom.
And I had to take a piss, and I was like sitting in the bathroom. I was like, "Fuck, Ghostface didn't get my ass in the
And he
bathroom."
probably crapped his pants so many times because he was afraid to go to the bathroom.
Probably. I was fucking terrified. I was like, "Fuck that shit."
But I mean, this is really sad. I mean, we have an iconic horror director, writer,
Legend.
producer. He's done so much stuff. I mean, from even movies that he hasn't
Yeah.
written, he produced Feast, Pulse, I believe. Like it's all over the place. His filmography and everything he's done, and he's gone, and that sucks. And I just hope someone picks up the flag and carries on, because I feel like we have a bunch of iconic horror movie people that are up there in age,
Yeah.
and we are going to be losing soon. and we got some people that need to fill the shoes, but we need to get great people in there.
Yeah.
Speaking of like age, like I can't you wouldn't think so, but he was 80 years old. Wes Craven.
76.
76,
76.
77. Yeah, that rounds out to 80. But he looks like he's freaking 50. You wouldn't think so, but he's like older than George A. Romero. George A. Romero looks like he's 130 years old. He looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Hey, he's
but,
the Walking Dead man.
but-
Yeah, he'll be alive till the day.
but Wes Craven was older than him. It's just funny, huh?
Look
Well,
at John Carpenter. He
looks-
smokes like an
He looks like he's
ashtray, still
92.
going strong.
He's like in his 60s.
Well,
But
and you know what we didn't talk about was Wes Craven's first film, The Last House on the Left. That was his very first film.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great movie.
we'll hit that real quick. We're gonna do a separate review on it. I believe we have that set up, but that movie, damn, for the time and everything, and he did very Vietnam style cinematography with the color and the camera.
Yeah.
That is a movie that like hits straight home, and it's like no bars held, man. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, this is
They go straight for the jugular. Right?
yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much.
What's funny about that movie is one of the killers in that movie actually regrets ever doing that film, and it's like, what the.
Sometimes I regret watching that film.
and then one guy got categorized as you're the rapist actor. So when you need a rapist in a film,
Grab
you get him.
But hey guys, you know, it sucks. We lost a horror legend. I'm Marcus.
I'm Tracy.
I'm Craig.
I'm Eddie.
We are the Horror Junkies of Utah. And we'll come at you again with a couple more videos on Wes Craven. But for now, we all miss him. Have a good night, guys.
Make sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
See you later.